Okay guys, so this is going to be a really strange video. I can tell you guys that already. As you can tell, the audio is not synced up with what I'm saying on screen. So essentially this is an audio commentary over one of my unreleased videos, because otherwise this video would have never seen the light of day. So the only way for me to salvage this video really is to do an audio commentary and yeah, just kind of narrate over the footage, I guess. This was going to be a video where we played as Lego Amy in Sonic Superstars, and where we would kind of proceed on to the next zone. So here we are going into Act 1 of Golden Capital. Golden Capital Act 1. And yeah, like I said, playing as Lego Amy. I think I mentioned in this video that this world reminded me a lot of Tomba, which we will also be playing on the channel. It actually just came out on Steam. It's an old PS1 game in case you guys aren't aware of Tomba, but I'm definitely going to be doing a couple of videos on Tomba for the channel, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully you guys will be interested in checking that out. But yeah, here we are, just kind of running along as Lego Amy in Sonic Superstars. I'm really interested in getting back into Sonic Superstars because ever since I recorded this video, it's kind of a while ago actually, I haven't even picked up Sonic Superstars. The only time I ever play this game is for the channel, and so far I've been enjoying it quite a bit actually. It's so interesting to see what the spin dash looks like in Lego form. It's like this spiky saw blade, and then we have this weird drill machine, which is kind of interesting. I thought that the level design on this zone was really cool actually. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and of course I always like playing as Amy because she has the hammer. I think at this point I still hadn't realized how you use the hammer, because you can swing it around. But I just never knew for whatever reason. I couldn't figure it out until recently. But yeah, here we are again in the little drill machine. I'll probably skip through some parts of the playthrough because I think I have 45 minutes of footage here. Especially at the boss battle, I was having a lot of trouble with that one, and it was really annoying. The boss battle for this zone, you're kind of on rails, and you're on this little floating platform, and you're doing this whole little on-rail boss battle section. But if you mess up, you have to start back from the beginning, so that kept happening. I kept messing up right at the end, and then I would have to restart from the beginning, which is really tedious and long and annoying. So we'll probably skip through that once we get to that point. But yeah, just running through this checkered flooring this zone with a checkered flooring. It's pretty cool though. They have all these different perspective changes where you kind of go into the background and then come back out of it. I don't know, I thought that this was pretty interesting. A lot of people say oh, the level design in Sonic Superstars is bad and the music's bad and this and that, and people really hate on this game, and I just really don't understand it, because there's obviously a lot of bad Sonic games out there, and for me personally, I don't think that this is one of them. This one I thought was pretty good actually. To some people it's bad or mediocre, but for me I really enjoyed it. At least so far in the game, you know. I haven't had any moments with it where I was dreading playing it, you know. I always kind of have a good time with it, so it's interesting to see the different perspectives. Some people are just really not into it, and then for me, I don't know, I liked it quite a bit, which is kind of funny because I actually prefer the 3D games over the 2D Sonic games, so you would think that I wouldn't have liked this game as much, but I actually thought it was pretty fun. The one thing about the zones though, for certain levels it just feels like you're doing the same thing over and over again. I'm going through these different sections, but everything kind of looks the same in this zone, so it feels like I'm just kind of doing the same thing over and over again, even though I'm not, just because of how it looks. See, I keep doing that circle loop. See, again, it just looks like I'm doing the same section over and over again, and then again it's gonna happen here. I don't know if I was literally running in circles here or not. It's a little confusing, but I don't think I was. It just looks very similar. Oh my god, again. No, yeah, I don't think I was running in circles, but they just kept adding those sections time and time again. Here we have this weird pig bot thing. I just used my powers on him and kicked his butt real quick. It's pretty easy. A lot of the boss battles in this game are pretty easy, except for that one that I mentioned where you're on the moving platform and you're moving along, and it's a little bit frustrating. But yeah, here we ran around and drop down and saved a big Chungus pig, which is always cool. Oh yeah, and then here you just, like, here we have Fang and Trip flying along, but you just switch to Knuckles. You have like an act Knuckles or whatever. So we were trying to play as Lego Amy in this video, but I guess we're gonna have to play as Knuckles as well, which I actually find is kind of interesting. Like, I think it's interesting that they have these sections where you're forced to play as the different characters, because then you get to experience all the different characters' like abilities, which I think for that reason it's cool. But if you're just specifically wanting to play as one specific character, like if I just want to play as Tails and no one else, then it like sucks to have these like Knuckles zones. But I think most of the time you do have an option where you can just pick to proceed regularly, or you can go to like act Knuckles or whatever. I always pick those like zones where they give you a different character, because I don't know, I just think that it's kind of interesting. It's too interesting not to pick that, you know? So anyway, here we're zooming along as Knuckles, just kind of cool. I love the whole sunset background. I think that just looks really gorgeous. The graphics in general in this game just look really, really nice. I think they got the art style down. Yeah, it just looks really good. Look at how like the gold is shining off of the sunset, and it just, yeah, it looks really appealing to the eye. And it all matches with the whole like classic Sonic feel. It feels like a classic Sonic game. It doesn't feel like they're trying to mesh in like aspects of modern Sonic, you know, in with the classic games. It really feels like its own thing, which is really cool. And here I kept messing up, I guess. Kept like dropping through this fan. I like couldn't get through for some reason. Anyway, so then 10,000 years later, I finally made it through, I guess. But I kept bouncing off all these things, hitting these buttons, gliding around. Knuckles does feel a little stiff to play as. I was like laughing at being hit there. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I should probably mention what happened with this video that kind of required for me to even do an audio commentary to begin with. So it's a simple mistake, really. I recorded this video in a way where the audio for the game was way too loud, and then my mic was way too low. So in editing, I would have to boost the audio, but it was all in one. It was all on like one audio track though. So if I were to boost the audio, it would boost the game's audio as well as my mic audio. So I couldn't do that because, as I mentioned, the mic was too low and the game audio was way too loud. So there was nothing I could do because like you just couldn't hear me really, and then the game was way too loud. So I didn't want to release that as a video because it would have just been awful to watch. People would have clicked off because, yeah, it's not so entertaining when you like can't even hear me properly. So the only way for me to salvage this video was to do audio commentary, which I figured we might as well do since so far we've played through the entirety of Sonic Superstars up until this point. I've played through the whole thing on this channel. You can find it. I think I have like a Sonic Superstars playlist on this channel. Maybe I'll link it at the end of this video if I remember to do that. And yeah, we've played through the whole game together, so I didn't want to leave this part of the game out. And I figured it was only right to do some sort of audio commentary to salvage the video. We do have some other videos that were kind of left on the cutting room floor. Back when the Sonic Frontiers DLC dropped, I did videos covering that as well. You guys may remember we covered the section where we played as Knuckles, and then the section where we played as Amy as well. And I actually did more. I recorded a bunch more. I recorded a whole section where we were playing as Tails, and then I did a section as Sonic as well. I've never completed the Sonic Frontiers DLC actually. Maybe we'll do that one day. But anyway, I have those two videos, but I just never got around to editing them. I found that they were not boring, but just like, I don't know. It was hard for me to edit them together in a way to like keep it interesting. So I'm going to release those eventually, but I'm kind of treating it as like an editing challenge for myself, like try to make these like Frontiers videos a little more interesting. I don't know, find a way to do it, because in Frontiers there's like a lot of just wandering around these like big open empty zones, and it's kind of why I was not a huge fan of Frontiers. Like it was just a bunch of nothingness, and you know, it's not too interesting to play. So I don't know, I don't want you guys to have to watch like an hour of me like fumbling around as Tails, you know? So we'll find a way to make that video interesting, and eventually I guess that video will see the light of day. But I think that was one of the few videos on this channel that never saw the light of day. Usually if I record a video, it's because I intend on releasing it, so it doesn't happen too often, but every so often, you know, things do kind of happen. So And here we are completing the level, finally. Well, completing the Knuckles act or whatever. And proceeding on. Oh, here we found this like weird door. Which had some map or like Chaos Emeralds? Okay. I don't think you get to use them after you find those emeralds. It's just kind of like part of the game. Like, oh, Knuckles found all the emeralds, I guess. And then Fang comes and swipes them away with his like vacuum cleaner. It's just kind of meant to be like part of the story, I guess. And now here we're finally playing as Lego Amy again. It's so crazy to see like these Lego characters in the game. I think at this point we've done videos where we played as each of the Lego characters except for Sonic himself. So in the next one we'll have to do that just to finish up there. So far we've played as every DLC skin except for the IHOP Amy costume. We'll have to do that as well. Play as the little IHOP outfit. There are some other costumes, like I forget what it was called, but I'll put the photo of it on screen. It was some like weird exclusive DLC that you had to like pre-order at a specific store to get this like specific set of DLC characters, but anyway, I obviously didn't do that, so I don't have access to those, unfortunately. But aside from that, we played as all of the available DLC characters, so that's kind of interesting. I do like that they give you all these different options for skins and characters. I think that that's really cool. As you guys can kind of tell by my channel, I'm a huge fan of like different skins, of course, because of the Sonic Speed Simulator, you know, how to unlock this skin and how to unlock that skin, and let's showcase this skin. Oh, and let's showcase that skin. It's like my channel is all about skins basically, so it's safe to say that I'm like a huge fan of those different skins. So of course when Sonic X Shadow Generations drops as well, we'll be showcasing all the different skins in that, like Terios and, you know, the Saturn Sonic skin as well, which I actually meant to make a YouTube short about that, but we never did. Maybe I'll eventually get around to it, but I don't know. It's kind of late now. I'm really excited to play as the Adventure Sonic skin in that game as well. I'll also give you guys kind of a sneak peek. Oh yeah, this was the boss battle, by the way, where you're kind of like on this floating platform. I was kind of annoyed with this whole part of it. Actually, I guess it's just part of the level, but that is part of the boss battle as well. Here I finally figured out how to like swing the hammer. Anyways, yeah, that is part of the boss battle, and I was really frustrated by that just because of how like the moving platform controls, like it's kind of delayed a little bit, but anyway, as I was saying, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. We will be doing some Sonic Generations videos as well. Not just Sonic X Shadow Generations, but the original Sonic Generations. We're going to be playing some mods on the channel because, as you guys may know, Sonic Generations has a ton of awesome mods available for it. So we're definitely going to be playing through a bunch of those and seeing what they have to offer. Because I never had a chance to do that. I have Sonic Generations, but only on PS3, so we're going to have to get it on Steam and then see if we can, you know, play some mods. I think that would be really fun. We are also going to be doing, oh, here we jumped into the bonus world. Going to grab the Sonic coin. I don't know if, I don't remember if I like actually tried to do this or just like skipped through it. Anyway, yeah, no. I was expecting to like jump into the void there just to get this over with, because yeah, these bonus stages are kind of whatever. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed that video that we did on Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, where we played that game for the first time in like 14 years or whatever it was. I'm definitely going to be playing that game some more. In the next Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing video, we'll be playing as Big the Cat and going through another one of the cups, which I think should be pretty interesting. We may kind of make it our mission to unlock every character in that game, and as we unlock each of the characters, I'll make like the following video about like playing as that character. I think the one after Big is like Knuckles, and then it starts to get into like all of the, you know, Sega characters. So I think it'll be interesting to gradually like go through the different cups, unlock the different characters, and, you know, play as them. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into that Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, and then after that, of course, we'll be jumping into Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed, which will be awesome as well. Oh, here is the boss battle. Okay, we got this like lava beast or like tidal wave thing that's just beating our butt. Oh, we're grabbing Sonic coins and we're also getting smacked around. Oh, we had Fang there, kind of just bothering us, even though, yeah, we gotta go smack him. Smack him, smack him. I'll try to show you guys all of the highlights from this playthrough, but I am gonna skip along as well because, as I mentioned, I kept like dying during this like floating platform part, which is kind of annoying. They had all these like different sections where you go through like the inside of his base, which is cool to see, but I had to see this part like so many times because I kept dying, like I said, right at the end, and then I would have to redo this every time, which is so annoying. They should have added like some, I think they do have a couple of checkpoints, maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I kept having to redo it, and I was like so fed up by the end of it. And I haven't had any issues with the Sonic Superstars boss battles. This was like the first time where I got kind of annoyed at this one. Still no Fang in Sonic Speed Simulator though, which is interesting because he was available in the races for a limited time. He was like one of the rivals in the races. I don't think he's in the game anymore. They've since removed him, I think. But I'm sure his model is still in the game, so it's weird that we never got him as a playable character. I think they're kind of just waiting for the go-ahead from Sega, and they haven't gotten that yet, so that one kind of got pushed to the side, which is unfortunate. I would love to see him as a playable character. I think that would be really cool. Yeah, avoiding these like flames, avoiding these flames, avoiding this lava, getting hit by the flames. Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like getting hit, getting some rings, oh, getting hit, you know, trying to salvage my rings, and just slowly floating along on these like annoying platforms. Like, as you can see, it's so like slow and clunky to maneuver around on this like platform. It kind of sucks, but maybe I just suck at this. I don't know. And we have these like little pieces of the ceiling that are dropping down. And he's shooting a laser, and you gotta avoid it. I remember this part I was like unsure about how to hit him, but I think later on I like figured out how to do it. And then here you can just break away his barrier, but I didn't realize that at the time. So I just like wasn't breaking away his barrier, you know? And then I got like super annoyed about it. But yeah, little did I know that you can actually break away his barrier there, and it makes it a whole lot easier. Anyway, we're gonna skip along here. And yeah, here I finally figured out that you could break away his barrier, and I was like, okay, now I figured out how I can do this, basically. Because as soon as you know that you can do that, then, you know, you're pretty good to go. So, hitting the little barriers so that he can't, like, fire them at me. Yeah, as soon as you, like, get rid of most of them, it becomes pretty easy to avoid them. And you just, like, beat his rump. And going through this base again, it's like, man, it's pretty repetitive, I gotta say. And like I mentioned, it took me a few tries to complete this, but I think that this was finally the attempt where we made it happen. He's shooting his lasers and we're smacking him around. I think at this point I was pretty fed up with this boss battle. We're destroying his barrier like it's nobody's business, getting hit by the projectiles, and almost dying, but then, oh, we beat him finally. Then we make it through, jump off the little platform, of course, and hit our little slot machine thing. And free some of them piglets. And then, yeah, Fang zooms along. We smack him again, smack him off of his hover car, and he drops the emeralds. And then he abuses Trip. And then Trip has had it. You see Trip's identity finally. She looks a bit weird with her pointed nose, but she looks even weirder when she turns into a dragon with the Chaos Emeralds. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Trip. I don't know if we're ever going to see Trip again outside of this game, you know? Maybe it was just like a one-time thing to throw this character into this game. Fang has like a giant mech, which is pretty cool, but then Trip destroys it in like a second flat, so yeah, there's so much for that. That would have been a cool boss battle, but no. Anyway, I don't know why she turns into a dragon, but here she is, and she joins Team Sonic, I guess. She looks kind of similar to like Marine the raccoon or Honey the cat, so I don't know why they didn't just use one of those characters instead of like making this other character named Trip, who is like kind of similar to those anyways. And then we finally landed on Cyberstation Zone, which of course you guys probably know from Sonic Speed Simulator, but we're not going to play through it in this playthrough. We'll instead play through it next time, where we'll play as Lego Sonic, who then becomes Pixel Sonic when walking through those portals, so that's going to be kind of interesting. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We unlocked some products in the shop, Metal Knuckles and Red, whatever that is. But anyway, I know this was a really strange video, but if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and comment down below and subscribe to your boy. As always, we're trying to reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers, and once we do, I have a surprise for you guys planned. You're not going to want to miss it. You're definitely going to want to be here once we hit that mark. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm just watching myself as I'm doing the outro, so it's like really weird and throwing me off, but I'll see you guys later. Peace, 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 peace.